Welcome back to the Crypto World channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and Bitcoin has just breached $50,000 only a few moments ago. This is the first time Bitcoin has reached above 50,000 in about a month, and we've finally broken above huge resistance for the Bitcoin price, but we are forming a brand new pattern that we need to be paying attention to. And on top of all of that, a record amount of long positions were just closed, and Bitcoin has just reached back into the greed area on the Fear and Greed Index. So this video is seriously an important one to watch from start to finish so that you're not missing out on any of this important information. And if that sounds good to you, just before we jump into it, make sure to drop a like on the video down below. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe with notifications turned on for more updates just like this every single day. But anyway, with all of that out of the way, let's get straight to what this video is about. So right here, we're on the Bitcoin US dollar chart on the 4-hour time frame. And let's just quickly zoom out to start off with and take a look at the Fibonacci retracement tool from that $53,000 high down to this low at around $39,500 US. What we can see here is obviously we had the golden pocket coming in at roughly around $48,000 US. And we've also found huge resistance there for Bitcoin previously on the charts. And so the fact that the Bitcoin price has actually gotten above the golden pocket, this is very bullish because we've actually not seen this in months for Bitcoin. Because if you were on the channel back here around 2 to 3 weeks ago, I was letting you guys know that we cannot flip too bullish until we break above the golden pocket. And taking a look at the golden pocket back there, it was at roughly around 48, nearly 49,000 in that case. And so back then, around 3 weeks ago, we got a strong rejection from the golden pocket, which obviously was a bearish sign. And the fact that we started breaking below these previous lows just here, and the fact that the RSI started breaking this upwards trending support line, and also the fact that we formed a bearish divergence as well in the RSI, we simply had a lot of signs back then around 3 weeks ago, once again, of this bearish move about to happen before it actually happens. But something that I always mention to do with the golden pocket is if, of course, we break above the golden pocket, we do look very bullish. And so back then we didn't break above it. That's why we stayed bearish. But right now, taking a look at the current golden pocket, we have broken above this level. And by the way, this is the most important Fibonacci level on the chart. And something else that's very interesting is currently we're finding a little bit of resistance along the 78.6% Fibonacci level, coming in at pretty much exactly $50,000 US. And I'll let you guys know about that in my recent Bitcoin updates as well. But with that being said, the 78.6% Fibonacci level is not as important as the golden pocket. And then for as long as we can hold above the golden pocket now at around 48,000, we're definitely looking much more bullish here for Bitcoin. Obviously, along the way, we can have some short-term pullbacks, but generally speaking, ever since we broke this resistance all the way down here at around 44 to 45,000 US, I flipped bullish right then and there, and I'll let you guys know that it's very likely we're going to be starting an uptrend, and so far that is holding true, and I continue to expect this uptrend to continue, at least until we start breaking some significant support levels, such as this golden pocket, for example. Something like that happening could be the first sign of a potential trend reversal, but of course, we're not seeing that just yet. So as the saying goes, the trend is your friend until the end, and we're clearly still in this short-term uptrend on the 4-hour time frame. But with all of that in mind, if we're bringing out the RSI just here, what we can see is actually a small bearish divergence currently forming. Now, this isn't really confirmed because we haven't really confirmed a high just here. So let's just say if we continue breaking above $50,000 US, then of course, that's going to drag the RSI further to the upside and create a higher high in the RSI. And in that case, that would cancel out the bearish divergence. But for the beginners out there, a bearish divergence is basically when we're seeing higher highs in the Bitcoin price, but lower highs in the RSI. And so if this confirms, if we actually confirm one of these points as major resistance, what this basically means, if it confirms once again, is we could enter a bit more of a short-term cool-off. So that could just be sideways consolidation or a slight move to the downside. It doesn't necessarily mean a crash or anything. A bearish divergence simply just means that the bulls are losing momentum in the immediate short term, and we're kind of seeing that already, considering the fact that we started this uptrend with a very explosive move to the upside, and right now we definitely have lost a little bit of momentum along the way, but we're still in an uptrend, so don't forget that. Even though this might sound a little bit bearish, it's only in the immediate short term, and even then it's still not actually confirmed, but it's obviously something that we cannot ignore, and I thought I should point it out to you guys, because if it does confirm, then yeah, that's when we could enter a little bit of a short-term cool-off. But other than that potential bearish divergence forming, and other than the fact that we're running into a little bit of resistance here, there's honestly not too much bearish signs happening on the chart at the moment. Seriously, the fact that we broke above that golden pocket, that's probably the most important thing to take away here, and obviously that is a bullish sign. And just bringing out the VPVR indicator, as you can see here, the biggest amount of traded volume was coming in at around that golden pocket at roughly around $47,500, close to 48,000. And so obviously the fact that we're above that is a bullish sign, but we've also got one last spike of volume coming in at around 50 50,000 US dollars. So really, if we see a strong break above 50K, the volume on this VPVR indicator drastically drops off, which means after we start breaking above 50,000 US dollars approximately, and especially if we can flip that into support, kind of like what we did back here, then there's simply not too much resistance left for Bitcoin, at least until we start getting back towards this $53,000 high. Obviously, that has been confirmed once as resistance. And also, when we're zooming out on the daily Bitcoin chart, what we can see here, bringing out the Fibonacci retracement tool from the all-time high down to this swing low at around 29,000 US dollars. Of course, we have the biggest golden pocket level coming in at around 53,000 US dollars. That's the top of the golden pocket. And I let you guys know about this well over a month ago now. For those of you that were on the channel back here, I was warning you guys of potentially some more bearish price action starting if we cannot get above this exact golden pocket. And obviously that held true. And so this short-term uptrend right now is potentially the second retest of this very important golden pocket on the daily time frame. So once again, the top of the daily time frame golden pocket is coming in at roughly around 53,000, where we topped out last time around a month ago. And if we start seeing a strong break above 53K, then the next technical price target, according to the Fibonacci retracement tool, is the 78.6% Fibonacci level, coming in at around 57,500 US dollars. And anything above that, then I would be targeting towards the all-time high itself, which is coming in at close to 65,000 US dollars per Bitcoin. And just measuring out those moves in the Bitcoin price from the current Bitcoin price at the time of filming this video up to the top of that golden pocket towards 53K, that's around another 5, nearly 6% move to the upside. And then up towards 57,500, which is the next price target above the golden pocket, that's a 15% move. And then up towards the all-time high from the current price, that's a 30% gain with zero leverage. So there's definitely some huge opportunities awaiting for us in the Bitcoin market, especially if we get above this important golden pocket on the daily time frame. Once we get above that level, that is when we can start seeing some huge Bitcoin gains kick in, because the gains that we've seen in this short-term uptrend over the past 1 week will be absolutely nothing compared to the gains we will see if we see a strong break above this golden pocket on the daily time frame. And speaking about the daily time frame for Bitcoin, over the past 4 days on the channel, I was talking about a potential inverse head and shoulders pattern forming. As you can see, we clearly saw a left shoulder here ahead, and we were just waiting on some sort of right shoulder forming before we can actually confirm this pattern. And so right now, if you're drawing the neckline as a horizontal line, this pattern has been invalidated. But if you're adjusting the neckline like this to actually include these previous bounces on the chart, so what we can see here is previously, before this head and shoulders pattern even formed, this line was a significant line with 2 successful bounces along this exact level of support, and then we broke below it, flipped it into resistance, and then we started forming that inverse head and shoulders pattern. And right now it's still possible for us to see a potential right shoulder, but basically for this pattern to hold true at all, we're gonna really need to see some sort of rejection along 50 to 51,000 US dollars. If we start breaking above 51K without any sort of pullback, then that's how you know that this head and shoulders pattern at that point would clearly be invalidated. And zooming back in on the 4-hour time frame, just yesterday on the channel, I was mentioning that this could potentially be a bar pattern forming, because obviously we saw a sharp move to the upside followed by sideways consolidation. So those are really the first 2 signs of a bar pattern. The third and final sign is a sharp move to the downside, and that basically ends the pattern at the same sort of area where we began the pattern. But obviously this pattern did not really confirm, because the moment we broke above that golden pocket, I let you guys know that I would be flipping much more bullish. And so now that we have done that and we've finally exited this sideways consolidation, that potential bar pattern that was possibly forming on the chart has now been invalidated as well. And now taking a quick look at the Bitcoin order books across all of these exchanges, what we're seeing right now is a decent amount of buy orders coming in at just around 49,000 US dollars, and a decent amount of sell orders coming in at pretty much exactly 51,000 US dollars. So at around 49K, I would expect a bit of short-term support, and around 51,000, I would expect a bit of short-term resistance. But other than those 2 areas on the chart, there's really not too much happening at the moment in the Bitcoin order books. Taking a look at the Bitcoin funding rates across all of these exchanges just here, what's very interesting to see is the fact that the majority of the funding rates at the moment are actually in the negative territory. You can clearly see here, there's a lot of these negative funding rates, mainly in the stablecoin margined contracts, which basically means that the majority of people using stable coins to trade Bitcoin, such as Bitcoin trades funded by US dollar Tether, for example, right now, the majority of those positions are actually short positions. So it's definitely very interesting to see a lot of people opening short positions as the Bitcoin price is breaking above very very important resistance. And this could be a result of the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index dipping back into greed. For the new viewers on the channel, basically what this indicator means is the more greedy we are, the more likely the price is going to pull back to the downside, and the more fearful we are, the more likely the price is going to pump to the upside. And so especially as we approach the extreme levels, so extreme fear or extreme greed, that's when it becomes very likely that we're going to see a turnaround in the Bitcoin price. And we saw exactly that about a week ago. I was letting you guys know on the channel back then that we were in extreme fear, and that is a strong sign that we are due for some sort of bullish price action sometime soon. And I'll let you guys know about a week ago that I was increasing my dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin due to the fact that we were sitting in extreme fear, because the last time we hit those sort of levels was back in July when we were bottoming out at around 29,000 US dollars. So basically when we see extreme fear, that is usually a pretty good buy signal, especially if you're willing to hold for the longer term. But when we're seeing extreme greed, that is usually a pretty good sell signal. So right now we're not seeing extreme greed. We've only slightly dipped back into the greed. So right now this isn't necessarily a sell signal, but if we go too long to the upside without a pullback, we're going to go further into the greed, and it's going to happen very quickly if we don't see a pullback sometime soon. And I've been letting you guys know this over the past few days. This is nothing new for the subscribers out there. So it would simply be very healthy for the Bitcoin market to see just a short-term pullback sometime soon, so that the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index can pull back towards the neutral range. And so obviously we don't want to experience a whole lot of bearish price action. So it's much better if we have just some short-term bearish price action along the way. So then we can have a much more healthy uptrend and a longer-term uptrend as well. Because as well, usually when we hit extreme greed, that's when we see a trend reversal. So that's when we're about to actually start a new downtrend. And that could be a possible reason why hundreds of millions of dollars just got closed out of long positions. So these were people previously betting on the price going to the upside, but right now all of this money is exiting those long positions and basically getting a little bit fearful of the current Bitcoin prices. And by the way, this chart just here is the Bitcoin long positions on the Bitfinex exchange on the 4-hour time frame, and just measuring out this single 4-hourly candle that we saw over the past 24 hours. In just one 4-hour candle, 4,761 Bitcoin approximately were exited out of long positions. And by the way, that drop off didn't even happen in that entire 4-hour time frame. When we're zooming all the way into the 30-minute chart, we saw that huge drop off pretty much within half an hour. And by the way, that amount of Bitcoin equates to over 230 million US dollars. So nearly $250 million US dollars were exited out of long positions in just 30 minutes. And we saw that happen roughly around 16 hours ago from now. And zooming back out to the 4-hour time frame, of course, this recent drop off isn't the only drop off in long positions that we've seen recently. In fact, the long positions have been reducing in size over the past 9 days approximately. And in fact, measuring from this high up here down to where we are right now, over the past 9 days, over 12,000 Bitcoin has been closed out of these long positions. And at the current Bitcoin price at the time of filming this video, that currently equals over 600 million US dollars worth of long positions that have been closed in just the last 9 days. And just zooming out a little bit further on this chart, in fact, zooming out to the daily time frame, as you can see here, taking a look at the bigger picture, the last time that something similar to this actually happened was back here during the entire month of August. And then it was pretty much at the end of August, in fact, exactly on the 26th of August, that these long positions stopped heading to the downside and they started reopening. And so let's just take a look at the Bitcoin chart, what actually happened during the month of August and what came next. Here on the Bitcoin chart on the daily time frame, this price action just here is basically the month of August. So it was during that time period just there, that was when all of those long positions were closing to the downside. So they were simply taking profits on their positions as they were entering further and further into profits in preparation for potentially bearish price action coming next. And taking a look at the end of August, in fact, on the 26th of August, that was right here when those long positions stopped heading to the downside and started reopening. That was right here. And we had one last push to the upside into that daily golden pocket at around 53,000 US dollars before a lot of bearish price action started throughout the month of September. So this is definitely something interesting to keep in mind at the moment, because these long positions could simply just be taking profits on their trades. But obviously we don't see $600 million exits out of long long positions for completely no reason. So I'd like to hear what you have to say about this, what you think this actually means in the comment section down below, and I will be reading a lot of your comments on this video. And don't forget to follow me over on my Twitter for extra updates throughout the day in real time. So the moment we break the golden pocket, for example, I'll let you guys know that we are breaking that level and that we're getting ready for more gains. And so of course, all of these extra updates are completely for free over on my Twitter, and the link to my Twitter is in the description down below. And if you enjoyed this video or got something valuable out of this video, make sure to leave a like down below. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe with notifications turned on for more updates just like this one. And also, considering the amazing opportunity that we are seeing right now in the Bitcoin markets and the entire crypto markets altogether, there's never been a better time to share these videos around with your friends and family to get everyone involved in this amazing opportunity. So definitely make sure you're sharing these videos. And right now is definitely one of those times where you need to be staying active in the markets in order to seize these amazing opportunities. But anyway, that's really everything I have to say for this video. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.